Well, I'm so excited about this next panel. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful panel. You will see why. So I will be bringing up countries one by one, and you will be amazed how beautifully Patricia had made this group together, how she put and chose very carefully the people. So let me bring up the creator of this session, Patricia from Malaysia. Hi.
Hello. Thank
All
you so much,
right.
Andrea.
So nice to have you here. Let's go to the next person from the USA. Here we have Michael Wader. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Yay!
So nice to have you. And then let's go to Alicia. Hi,
G'day,
Alicia from Australia.
Janda. Thank you.
Of the language of kangaroos. And let's go to another place. We are flying around the world. Let's go to Myanmar, our favorite place, Yangon. Hi,
Hello,
Ashra.
everyone. Happy morning.
And now we are flying further a little bit away, like I think it's around 5 hours from here. Ron from South Korea. Hi, Ron.
Hello, everyone. Hello, joining from Seoul, South Korea.
Yes. And then the last person in this beautiful panelist coming from India is Dr. Gayatri. Hi, Dr. Gayatri. So nice to meet you.
Hello, thank you so much.
And without further
Thank
ado, as
you.
we deliver diversity straight away into your living room, guys, I will be leaving the stage and giving the word to the beautiful panelists. Thank you so much, Patricia. The word is yours.
Thank you so much. We really want to send a lot of love and a lot of love to all our audience out there, wherever you are. Audience, you are there. Feel free to type the city you are right now in the chat box or the comment box. As you can see, we are very diverse. All our panelists are from all over the world. Because of this, let us all give ourselves a big round of applause. And it's a full circle out there. We want to welcome everyone to our space as we discuss about the power of sales strategies in a diverse environment. Before that, let me give you a little bit of a background where we are. We are actually powered by Global Empowerment Hub. This is a place for all of us to exchange ideas and thoughts so that we can make our world a better place. I would say this is one of the top learning platforms that you probably want to subscribe. So to all our audience right there, we hope you will definitely have your own takeaway from our session. Now, of course, to kickstart, I know all of you know from the look of our screen, we are very diversified. And because of that, I'm sure all of you will want to know a little bit more about my panelists, right? So I'm going to start with myself first. My name is Patricia Yap. I actually am from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, but I'm very diverse because I have a Taiwanese mom and a Malaysian dad, and I was schooled in Canada during my, when I did my university. And then I always feel like, oh no, I don't fit in any of the places there. So I'm not quite sure whether my panelists would actually feel the same as well. So I'm going to move them and ask each of them to give us a little bit of a feedback, and of course their profession as well. So coming from a stockbroker, I always deal with money, and you'll be very surprised all of our panelists are also actively dealing with money as well. So let's kickstart by inviting our man in a very, very proper traditional. I'm not sure if it's a suit, but certainly looks so good to me and shiny. Ron, would you take the stage?
Thank you, Patricia. Well, thank you all. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm glad to be on such a valuable panel. So my name is Ron, currently in Seoul, South Korea. However, if you see my name, there's another city called Shanghai, because I also lived in Shanghai. And actually, 2 weeks ago, I was in Shanghai for a 5-day visit, and that's a place I also lived in Shanghai. I'm in Shanghai. That's the place I lived in for my work. And also, I went to school in the United States, although that was long ago. Minnesota, coldest state in the US, and also Nevada, hottest state. Plus, as an exchange student, I was in Taipei, although that was around 10 years ago. Plus, when it comes to my profession, my background is the tourism industry. I used to work in hotel, but now I'm I'm a travel writer and travel blogger. So try to be more active on social medias. Thank you all.
Wow. Certainly a big sales figure out there. Ron, we want to connect with all our audience from all over the world. So speak something of your own language to welcome them. You know, in sales, we need to make that connection first. So, Ronald, what is that one word you want to share with everyone in another language?
Well, first of all, just want to say 안녕하세요. That means hello, definitely. And I want to say thank you once again, but this time in Korean. 감사합니다. That means thank you all for your invitation. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. I picked
Yes.
that up so I can go to Korea and make some sales, hopefully. Okay, let's move on to our random Aussie. I have to let you know she is super awesome. She lives in Australia, but she has helped people all around the world. And all of you might want to find out what her secret sauce is, and she'll introduce herself for sure. Go ahead, Alicia.
G'day everyone from the land down under. My name is Alicia Curtis and I'm located in Newcastle, about 3 hours north of Sydney. My background is actually in insurance and financial services. So that's why Pat and I are like very close friends, because we love financial services. We could write a whole book on the financial services industry. And I am passionate about sales and of course marketing. So this is a wonderful, diverse topic, especially as an Australian, where we like to talk and even more. But I've been around the world multiple times, about 30 to 40 countries in person and online, of course, with other opportunities. So I'm very excited tonight to be here.
Yeah, she'll be here to share with a lot of you what are some of her secrets to really blend herself in different cultures. Alicia, you even speak some language in India, right? Would you like
Yes,
to,
I can.
over to you again.
All right. Namaskar Hegadira Danyavada Nana Hasaru Alicia. Thank you. Or Danyavad.
Wow, amazing. Because of this, I am now going to go to Dr. Gayatri. Gayatri, what say you?
Namaste. That is one of the most common greetings across all the languages from the land of India. Namaste means I bow down to you. Hello, everybody. My name is Gayatri Deshmukh. I have a PhD in meditation practice. I come from the city called Nasik. It is the grape city. It's also the wine capital of our country. And our city is about 200 kilometers from Mumbai as well as Pune, which are the two major cities of our country. How I associated with Patricia? Well, while all these guys deal with money, I deal with people who deal with money along with stress. As stress and anxiety management coach, I often come upon people who are trying to find a way out of that stress and anxiety when they are into financial stress. Looking forward to this particular session on diversity in terms of sales. Thank you so much, Patricia.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Gayatri. You really brought up something that we want to shy away from, like the stress, but we can't really avoid that. And I know our young entrepreneur, she has a way of dealing with stress. Look at her right now, I think. Susie, are you having a great me time? You want to share with us what you do and how you deal with stress?
So, Mingalava, everyone. Hello, I am Shrisi. I'm from Myanmar, Yangon. Yangon is the capital city of Myanmar, and I'm very glad to have you all. And it's a big honor for me. So, yeah, I am a teacher, an English teacher for the children. But now I am changing my career into like a public speaking trainer for the children in our country. So yes, there are a lot of stress also because in Myanmar, like public speaking is not popular at all, and I really want to go with that way for my career. So I am facing a lot of stress with the parents and also some of the children. They are really afraid to do public speaking in front of the people. But it's okay. Now we are starting, and I believe that like we all can do it. And I'm really happy.
So if you are stressed, take a rest and then take a moment and get the reflection and just do it. Just move on and never give up. So yeah.
Fantastic. Like what Suisin is doing right now, she's de-stressing using a very special powder, right, from your country. Yes, I like that
Yes.
to de-stress. And of course, talking about all these very complex topics, now finally, I have the honor to introduce our final panelist. He has been super, super amazing in many countries. He positioned himself not only a leadership guru, but beyond a leadership guru. He's lived in many countries. Let me now hand the virtual stage over to my mentor, Michael Wader. Take it away.
Thank you, Patricia, and welcome everybody. And I'm going to start backwards, meaning that I'm going to give you the English word that I would give everybody. Very simple word. You just won't be able to pronounce it because it is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's what Mary Poppins would say when she wanted to do things. Good American word. I am a person who travels the world teaching leadership. And often I find leaders do not know how to handle diversity. Today's message, talking about diversity when we're trying to make sales, fits in perfectly because we need to understand. I have been to all the countries that are on the screen today, and I can tell you each one of them is a little bit different. And if you're not ready to change, you're not going to make sales and you're not going to be a winner. You got to embrace diversity. Patricia, back to you.
Wow, hear that, ladies and gentlemen? You probably can observe all of us, 6 of us, are very diverse. Audience out there, type it in the chat box what your definition of diversity is. But now I'm going to hand the control over to Dr. Gayatri. Dr. Gayatri, I know you come from a spiritual background because you're an expert in meditation. So what does diversity look to you like? What does it look like to you?
Patricia, I come from India, and India is the land which got independence with the slogan unity and diversity. Geographically speaking, we have snowfall and the beaches. Geographically speaking, we have deserts as well as marshy lands within our own country. If you talk about languages, there are more than 13,000 mother tongues spoken in India. That should itself tell you the kind of diversity I'm talking about. Geographical diversity, I'm talking about the cultural diversity, I'm also talking about the natural diversity, wherein I'm talking about more than 1 lakh, that is 100,000 flora and fauna within our geography. I personally believe diversity is something that makes you beautiful. Look at our panel today. The moment people are looking at the panel, they're saying, wow, this is an awesome panel. Why are they saying that? Because we are living in the era wherein we love choices. We love to go to supermarket and we love to have various brands of the same product. All of us are probably various brands of the same product because people look at this panel and they're like, okay, everybody is different. I'm sure I'll connect with someone here, or maybe more than one. That I believe is diversity, wherein we bring forward something without really caring about whether everything fits into one classification. Diversity is exactly opposite of cloning, when you're trying to make clones of each other. We are not doing that. So, in my opinion, in my observation, in my understanding, diversity is the beauty of everything. Nature, Mother Universe, they have been very specific about ensuring that everything is different because that diversity is what brings in beauty.
Certainly, Dr. Gayatri, you just reminded me of the words from our poet Maya Angelou. She once said, in beauty, there is diversity. Or I believe it's in diversity, there is beauty. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom on this perspective. And certainly, I would like to find out, Ron, how about you? You are a different gender and you come from a different background. So what does diversity look to you like?
Diversity, definitely what we just heard is indeed true. Diversity, it can cover many many aspects, even within the country or even within the same region. If I add just one more thing based on what Dr. Gayatri had just said, is at the end of the day, in order to diversity, in order to make the diversity shine like a diamond, you have to get to know how to deal with the diversity with a different background. And so many cases that the miscommunications or misunderstanding happens. However, many cases that causes by the simple misunderstanding. So in order to make the diversity more shining like a diamond, definitely diversity is about being inclusive and getting to do not assume that we are more or less the same. Sure, we may have similarities. However, at the same time, there must be differences each other. So, if in short, diversity for me means being inclusive. At the same time, we acknowledge the difference based on the
I love that.
various background. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that, Ron. You just reminded me of the big word of the 21st century, DEI. Right? The audience out there, I know Jai, Sham, you are sharing some of your wisdom. Thank you so much. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important. While some of the world out there, I have to say, sometimes are a little bit afraid of diversity. And that's why you see a lot of happening right now in our world right now, simply because they find it really weird and really scary to embrace this idea. Or they may feel very fearful that this may take away some of their identity. So I'd like to channel this question to Alicia, because Alicia, I understand you have managed to somehow blend with different people of different cultures. So what would be that very critical success factor so that we can appreciate each other better, appreciate the differences and the diverse background that we have?
Absolutely, Patricia. I come from Australia, which is one of the most multicultural. In fact, it is the most multicultural country on the planet. And today I'm wearing a local Aboriginal shirt. I'm wearing the national hat, the Akubra, and our national gemstone, the opal. Diversity to me is about including everyone. It's about focusing on everything that makes up humanity. So if you think about it, when we look at it, we look at the race, we look at the ethnicity, we look at the gender, we look at the age, we look at the sexual orientation, the disabilities and the physical abilities. I come from a disability background myself. We have people in the audience today who have disabilities as well. It comes from religion. We have a whole panel here of multi-religions here tonight, just showing exactly what diversity is all about, and also socioeconomic status, which is one of the new ones, and also your cultural background. This is what represents to me for diversity. Then you can throw in things like your educational background, the way you think, perspectives, your problem solving skills, because everyone's different in the way that they do it. Let's add another one to DEI, DEBA, DEIBA, belonging. We belong. Where do we belong in the puzzle of this universe? As well as your work style. Did you know even diversity includes your work style, your communication preference, your personality type? These are the things that make up diversity. And I think it's really important when we're talking about diversity and how we actually communicate with each other. How do we actually fit into that puzzle? We've got to be open and we've got to be able to communicate with everyone.
I certainly picked up one of the most important values that I thought Alicia just shared. Openness. It's so important to stay open, knowing that this is the common denominator that we all share. And I believe when we talk about sales, if we really want to strive in the 21st century, we don't have a choice to not include diversity. I mean, look at all the big cops companies out there. They have different products to suit different markets, and that's why they're able to continue to serve our community, our world. So I'd like to turn this question right now to the man who is smiling right now. Yes, Michael, we certainly want to hear from you. your perception on sales strategies, especially in a very diverse environment. How do corporations and even entrepreneurs handle that?
I don't think I know the answer to your question, but I'll make one up. I'm a white American baby boomer. I don't work in a white American baby boomer market. I work around the world. And one of my favorite countries to go to is where Patricia is Malaysia. Can you imagine a 75-year-old baby boomer from America working with Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and Christians all mixed together with Thai, Malaysia, Chinese, and Indian, Vietnamese, and Singaporeans all mixed together in the same company, in the same job. Now, in order to sell to them, if we're talking about sales, you have to take them into consideration. You cannot sit back and say, well, I'm not going to work during Catholic Christmas, but the rest of the year I will work and sell in Malaysia. You won't be successful. You come to Malaysia and try to sell during Ramadan, won't work. You come to Malaysia and try to sell during October, Diwali, it won't work. You come here in February of 10th of this coming year, it's Chinese New Year's, it won't work. You have to be aware of the diverse market that you are selling to. And also, at my age, most of my customers are in their 30s. Now, how in the world can a 75-year-old work with 30s? Well, that's easy. I just act like a child, and it works very well. But you have to take in consideration as to who you are addressing, who you're trying to sell to, who is your market, and be aware of their distinct religious and celebration festival times and their culture. Take that in consideration, and you're going to be successful.
I certainly picked up one of the very important things that we need to be aware of. Increase our CI. What does CI mean? We all know about EQ and IQ. What does CI mean? Cultural intelligence.
Cultural intelligence.
It's so important to have an awareness that we can all increase our cultural intelligence. In fact, right now, I want to run to Suisin right now. Because Suisin, I understand you are dealing with kids, right? Or even youth. And you are in your 20s, right? So for you, dealing with the younger generation, how would you want to deal with them? Because even though you are young, but still they probably will look at you like, oh my God, you are like an old auntie, from the eye of a 10 or a 12-year-old. So Suisin, how do you deal with that, that very different perception of who you are when you want to teach them?
Yes. So yeah, for me, one thing is I really love children and I love the youth also. So I believe that one thing is like if we are treating people, we need to treat with love. So like love is the only thing that can connect everyone and that can unite everyone. Although we are very different, although we are very diverse, love is the common language for all of us. So yeah, for me, like I don't know, I really love children a lot. So I always treat them with love. And sometimes when they are naughty or something, of course, I scold them in a good way. So yeah, and then later I give them some sweets again. So for the youth also, I always like speak with good language, good words only, and then like when I deliver the speeches among the conversation clubs also, always speak with heart. So I believe that when we speak with heart and when we treat the people with love, however we are different, we all can be united and we all can be, have the strength. So yeah, so this is how I deal with the kids and of course the youth and the people around me. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Love connects all. Now, I would like to pose this to our spiritual guru, our meditation guru, Dr. Gayatri. Perhaps you can enlighten us on this love energy. What has it got to do with sales? What has it got to do with diversity? How can we use this energy actually to transform or to enlighten people around us?
So, Patricia, what you spoke about cultural intelligence is of utmost importance while devising any strategy across the globe. Like Michael pointed out, he has to take into consideration multiple factors which are not restricted to the cultural environment or cultural diversity of America, because cultural diversity of USA may be different from the cultural diversity of other countries. One of the things that I observed is here. I had one of the clients, and this particular client was of Indian origin, settled in United Kingdom. During the COVID pandemic time, she could not see her parents for the last times. She went into depression, she went for counseling. Now, here is the problem. The counselor who came from British background, British cultural setup, did not understand the importance of seeing the person during the last hours. And in India, everything on one side, but Antya Darshan, what it is called, the last meeting, wherein even after the person is dead, before we do the last rites, we look at the person and pray. She did not get to do that, and that became a trauma for her. The British doctor did not understand that part because he was not culturally aware about how this girl was raised. Similarly, there was another case where again cultural equation came into play. When we are trying to communicate with someone, connect with someone, it is very important that we understand that person's background. In Toastmasters International, we have something called as Triple Crown. As an over enthusiastic VP education, I created a certificate with crown on it, and I told my members, the more levels you complete, the more crowns I'll put on the certificate. I made a sample design only to realize that I had offended a lot of people and I didn't know what I had done. And there were people who cried. And I was thinking, why are they even crying? I was not meaning to do anything. The problem was that the design of the crown that I had chosen from the Canva, that crown, it looked a lot like the symbol of imperialism. And the people who we are talking about, they had got out of that imperialistic or a colonialization very recently, so their wounds were very fresh. It felt humiliating for them. Now, India, as a country where I come from, were also colonized. But we don't associate that crown with any symbol at all because it has been 75 years and more now. But for them, it was a symbol of imperialism. I heard their sentiments. Not understanding, not knowing the sufferings of people from a particular culture can definitely hamper your sales strategies. So when you are exploring a market, it is very important that you know what the background of your customers is. It is important to know how your customers feel about a certain aspect. It is important that you know what is it that your customers will not like. It comes down to so small things as body gestures. There was one particular time wherein I did this to say no. Now, when I say this, it's no in my culture. But in United States of America, I was asked, why are you showing us the finger? It is so offensive, it is humiliating. I said, okay, now I need to find out another gesture to say no because I want to put in some body gesture because I want to make that point. So I did this. No. And this time I was in front of European audience, and our European audience was more like, what is this? Why are you showing this thumb? It is the sign of victory. It is the sign of, giving best wishes. Why are you using it for no? Finally, after a lot of thought, I just said no. And I think that is something that did not offend anyone. It took me 3 months to come on this action for no because everything else was offending. So in short, we know very little about cultures other than ours. We are very self centered. We don't give enough importance to others. We want people to understand me. We want people to understand my culture. We want people to understand where I come from. I think we need to put in just as much effort to understand where the other person is coming from. Because when it comes to sales strategies, it is not about me, it is always about other people.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I really learned this, but I learned this in Korea actually. You won't believe it. I learned this in Korea and it's so impactful and it's so easy to understand. But coming back, Dr. Gayatri, you just brought up a very important element. If we want to be really successful, to come up with great sales strategies, this is a part of love. And I sense that I caught that it was empathy. The big word empathy. This was so strong to me, because if we design any sales strategies without the concept or even without the awareness of empathy, I'm not sure whether it's going to work in a diverse environment. Thank you so much for sharing your personal stories and certainly your personal experiences. And that really helps us to fill in the gap and as well reflect upon our own experience for sure. Now, I would like to now turn the mic to Ron. Ron, I see you probably would like to share with us as well some of your past experiences with coming up with still strategies in a very diverse environment, because we talk about travel. I mean, travels to me certainly is one of the industries that, gives you the space to really encounter diversity. Go ahead, Ronald.
So Patricia, I just want to clarify. Do you want me to share about my experience?
Yes.
About cultural experience. Okay, perfect. Thank you once again. Well, definitely traveling beyond my home city or even beyond my home country is definitely always an eye-opening experience. And also that teaches me a new sales strategies whenever I'm visiting out of my country. For example, I can still remember and still enjoy again about my last trip in Shanghai, the mainland China. So I'm not sure whether you've been to mainland China recently. However, if you go to KFC or McDonald's, don't be surprised. We'll have a Cantonese kanji, the rice, the porridge, KFC and McDonald's. That's one. And during the Mid-Autumn Festival, if we go to Starbucks in Greater China, including mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, there's a mooncake. That was another eye-opening for me. In fact, for India, we can find the chicken Big Mac instead of beef Big Mac. Well, there are so many examples when the companies can do the cultural blending without losing its own identity. Well, definitely travel. Whenever I travel again, any place out of my home place, well, lessons are always there. Even from McDonald's, KFC, Starbucks, and that is just one of so many ways. And for Australia, well, we call it McDonald's Maca, So whenever you have an opportunity to travel beyond your home city, if not home country, always take it, because whenever we do that and being proactive for finding cultural discovery, we can always find a new creative ideas. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you so much, Ron. I certainly see how, the big cops out there, they are able to drive diversity and package it in such a way that the locals would love it. In fact, the McDonald's in Malaysia, we do have the national dish, which is called the nasi lemak. So to all our audience out there, whichever country you are from, share with us one dish that you thought was the perfect creation of embracing cultural diversity, and come up with the perfect sales strategies that allow the locals to really appreciate something that they have not before, but package it in such a way that is palatable to them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and type it in the comment box. Okay, talking about Meccas, I certainly need to turn the virtual stage to Alicia, because Alicia is really big on Meccas. But apart from that, she certainly can share with us some of the very interesting, diverse experience that she has seen over the years, even when she was an insurance broker, how the company pivot, how they embrace diversity to come up with the sales strategies. I have to say, this is one of the very, very important things that all companies need to look into. Alicia, over to you.
Absolutely, Patricia. So, diversity is something very big in the workplace in Australia. I find it really interesting when I talk to colleagues over in the United States of America that they think it's really strange that we can just walk into the office and just sit down and everything is just normal. In a HR manual, you don't have all these, I guess, red flags or whatever you want to call it. We just get along. And that's one of the things that's really important about I guess being from an Australian background is we appreciate multiculturalism. We appreciate each other. This would be considered quite a normal, if I was to walk into an office with every single person here, this would actually be quite a unique office, but it would be considered, well, that's just Australia. That is how it is because that is how we see the population of Australia. And that was what my old workplace used to be. I could walk in and there was people from all over the place because I used to work for an international brokerage, and that was one of the great things. And I guess when it comes to diversity as that critical success factor, as we talk about the sales strategies, you're wanting to broaden your perspective. So tonight we're all broadening our perspectives here on this platform. Think about it. Diversity brings different individuals together. Imagine if we were all white Australian and we all shared the same personality and we all shared the same ideology. We're not going to get a very diverse experience. We're not going to have a perspective that's outside of the little square that we're speaking in. So when it comes to sales and diversity, because we might be targeting a totally different market. We might be going for, say, you know, the local football club that has a whole different group of people. Or we might be going down to the local Maccas, as we call it here in Australia, and we're targeting one other particular person. Another thing is we're connecting. So think about it. We're connecting with diverse markets. In insurance, you're not going to just purchase one insurance policy from one insurance company. You've got to go to an array of different underwriters, and they're all from around the world. They're not just going to be coming from Australia. They're going to go from Lloyd's of London. You're going to go to the United States of America. We're going to have to go to Bermuda. We're going to have to go to Malaysia. We're going to have to go to Japan. And we all have to tap into each other's local expertise. That's what diversity is all about. Innovation and creativity. That's what diversity is about. Diversity allows for the opportunity to create innovation and to also foster that opportunity for diversity through creativity. You come from those different backgrounds. Ron comes from, as he said, from the travel background. We've got Michael, who's coming from the leadership background. We've got a teacher, and we've also got a mindfulness and wellness person, and we've got a stockbroker amongst the insurance broker. How more diverse could you get, and how more innovative if we came together to create an insurance policy from all these backgrounds? It would be very interesting. And also it enhances your reputation and customer loyalty. Seeing people from different backgrounds, knowing that there are people there and they can see that picture that represents a different background. Can you imagine if we all just had the white Australian on the label? No, we want to see people who represent us. We want to see people who represent a whole a whole different diversity. And of course, we also want to see being that as a competitive advantage. And it's a competitive advantage. We have people who speak, I think here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 6 different languages, maybe even more. And that's one of the things that it does. It brings out that cultural representation. And in a sales environment, if you only do one thing and that's it, you're not going to be able to last very long. I promise you, and I can guarantee that because I've seen it happen in many small businesses.
Amazing. You know, Alicia, I see many type of races in you. You are really colorful, and that goes to all our panelists out there as well. Now, as far as the conversation is going, thank you so much for all the wonderful feedback. In fact, we have a lot of audience who are also having, sharing with us so many beautiful comments. Keep it coming in. And we also have some questions that we're going to tackle later on. And on this note now, because we are in the 21st century and we have seen, we have heard the world is borderless right now. We are, in fact, also enjoying AI, right? All the technology and everything that is happening. Oh, your chat GPT and whatnot. I see Michael is nodding. So, Michael, perhaps you can share with us some great tips how we can make use of all these modern technology, whatever is going on right now, to really enhance when we are trying to come up with a sales strategy in a very diverse environment. How would you leverage on that?
Sorry, I was muted while everybody else was talking. Sorry. Great question,
Technology.
Patricia. Great question, Patricia. And I'll tell you how I use it. And it may appear to some of you. I write books, written 6. I write quotes, and I write a lot of articles trying to get people to improve themselves. It would take me hours to sit down and write 5, 6 pages of text trying to put together a short brochure that I'm going to give away for free to somebody because I'm trying to sell them a bigger package later on. This is part of sales. When you're going to do this, you want to craft it so that it is just right. So you go to using AI, there's several different platforms. You go in there and you say, give me an 800-word essay based on, I'll pick Miramar as a strange one because not many people talk about that. An essay that people from Miramar are going to be interested in, add a little bit of humor, and I want 3 key points. And I type that in, hit the button for chat GPT, and boom, it spits it out. Now, what do I do when I get that? I'm certainly not going to send that out to anybody. But what I am going to do is I'm going to move it over to Word document. Then I'm going to craft it with Michael Waiter's words. In other words, I'm going to go in and take out a couple keywords and put in Michael Waiter's words. It would never say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but there's a lot of other things it wouldn't say either. So I talk like Michael Waiter is going to talk. Simple language, easy to understand, not complicated, and I don't just send it out the way it is. But it just saved me about 3 hours of work trying to come up with all that creative ideas. It's a tremendous saver of time. Don't send it out like it is. People will see that it's from AI and not from you, especially if they know anything about you. So download it, put in your suggestions, and you can ask all kinds of things for it to do, and it will do it for you. Take that and massage it, make it soft, make it easy so that people are going to want to buy it. But you're going to have to craft that yourself. But you can turn a 3 or 4 hour project into maybe a 1 hour project, which is going to give you more time to go out and meet more people face to face, shake hands, or get online and get to meet people. I use AI to save time.
Wow, you just gave us that bonus, that golden nugget that everybody is trying to speed and to do better. That magical ingredient. I'm not going to say the 2 words, but I guess all our audience caught it. And I can see, Suisin, definitely you were nodding as you were listening to Michael. So Suisin, perhaps you want to share with us, because I know you are a young entrepreneur. You certainly need to craft and to design your own strategies in promoting yourself in your courses. So what will be the very important value that you picked up from today's session that you want to share with all our audience as well? Suisin?
Yes, from today's session, like diversity, I just like heard this is very beautiful and the beauty things. And of course, it is also strength. So we have to include all the people, like our Alicia said, we have to include all the people and see the diversity in the people and achieve that what we want in our life. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that's beautiful. So I think moving forward, when you design your courses, you really sell your products, you will always have this love as your base. So you're going to design everything to serve your audience instead of just thinking money, 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 money. I think that would be the biggest takeaway for me as well. A lot of times we all want money, but why don't we make money from a different perspective, which is to serve, right? And I think that is the whole gist of today's conversation. And having said that, you probably realize the 6 of us, we all have a common denominator. We love public speaking. We are engaged in also a non-profit organization. So I like to turn the virtual stage to Dr. Gayatri. I know you just joined this organization not too long ago, and perhaps you want to share one of the very important value that you picked up from this organization that has helped you tremendously in your personal life and your professional life.
There was something spoken about equity. I think Ron mentioned that part. Equity, let's take the analogy of a shoe over here. Okay, Patricia. When we talk about equality, it's about everybody getting same shoes. Everybody get the same pair of shoes. Talk about diversity, everybody gets a different pair of shoes. Talk about equity, everyone gets a pair of shoes that actually fits them. Not just different, but what actually fits them. Accessibility is that we make those shoes available for everyone and make them or empower them or enable them to be able to wear the shoes provided to them. Acceptance is understanding that everybody wears a different shoes. And belongingness is to wear shoes without fearing any judgment. What I personally took value from this particular organization is that I believe in the name of diversity, they understand all of these factors. And while we are talking about sales strategies, all these factors count into devising a good, successful sales strategy. And I think this particular organization has managed to achieve that, to ensure that each of these elements is incorporated while coming up with any strategies.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. If you want to find out the name of this non-profit organization, please go ahead and type in the chat box. We will be in touch with you very shortly. No matter where you are coming from, this organization is in 148 countries. And it's really amazing now because I want to turn the virtual mic over to Ron. Ron, would you like to share what is the most important value that you picked up from this organization that helped you to move forward in your career? And of course, as far as sales are concerned. Ron?
Definitely, Patricia. Well, the biggest lesson I learned through that particular organization is definitely how to customize my own communication styles based on the culture. Even we are in the same organization, well, so it's the same company. However, once we relocate from point A to B, the way the communication is very different. For example, my personal experience, the organization members in Shanghai or let's say Singapore, they tend to be more direct. Whereas once I'm back in my home city, which is Seoul, I found tend to be more indirect. And so as a Japanese and Taiwanese in many degrees. So in fact, their organization has been an excellent platform for me to make a mistake. In fact, when I just arrived in my home city, I made a mistake. That means I used to be a bit too direct for their cultural setting. But by making a mistake, that was the biggest lesson I learned. Okay, communication style is definitely customizable, and we have to aware the cultural difference when it comes to communication style, and so as leadership style, because communication style also influences leadership style, either more vocal, whether the locals prefer like vocal leaders, like vocal and more stronger leaders, or more, I would say more coordinated style leaders. So that was the biggest lesson I learned besides the communication skills and leadership skills itself. Definitely for enriching my our let's say our cultural background, definitely it has been an excellent platform for me. Hope that answers your question.
Ron, all I want to say is 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think one of the very important things that we realize, we are a whole bunch of learners who are so passionate about self-growth, self-development. And of course, I need to hand back the virtual mic to this person because she has been, yes, it's a she has been actively serving in this non-profit organization for many years right now. In fact, we don't get paid, but we are actively serving others. And why is that so? So, Alicia, I really want to find out what is your why? Finding your why. Share with us. What keeps you going to share? And this is so important.
Absolutely. So I've been with that nonprofit organization for almost 14 years now, and I have served at every level up until the trio role, and I'm planning to do that again, hopefully in the future. The reason why I come back, it's not because of my own personal gain. I have achieved the highest educational awards 4 times. I don't need to do that again because it doesn't really grow me. But the thing that grows me is watching my own personal growth through leadership, but also watching others now grow and develop. I come back for the people. That's why I'm here. That's my why, because it's the people that I surround myself with. I've met so many amazing people. I know every single person in this group that we've got here tonight. I've been to literally every country virtually in Toastmasters. I've been to almost 100. And I absolutely love meeting different people. I went to Canada today because I knew I couldn't go to the USA because of Turkey Day. But I went to Canada today to celebrate with them and to have a great time. And I'll probably end up in India probably tonight. So that's my why, the people.
Thank you. Your why. Amazing, amazing why. Michael, you are up there and you are still in this non-profit organization. In 30 seconds, share with us your passion, why you are still in this platform.
Thank you. 30 seconds. Let's see. I'm very old and slow, and I don't know how to talk well. And this organization speeds you up because one of the things that they help you with is your improvisation. When somebody asks you a question, your boss, your spouse, somebody important in your life, and you don't know how to answer. In this organization, they're going to help you respond. It's just like a customer. When you're in a different, diverse situation with somebody from a different culture and you're trying to sell them something and they ask you a question that sounds very strange or weird, and I don't know how to answer, improvisation is the answer to keep the conversation going. And you can learn improvisation in this organization and be the best salesperson in the world, around the world, if you know how to improvise the answer to match the culture. Thank you.
Amazing, ladies and gentlemen, the power of sales strategies in a I know a lot of you are practicing good listening skills. Let me start again. The power of sales strategies in a diverse environment. What is that solution? Seriously, come and join this organization. You will learn different ways, different communication styles, different leadership styles to help you to propel to achieve your own personal goal. So if there is a gift that we want to share with everybody, in just 10 seconds right now, just present a gift in the spirit of Thanksgiving. We want to give you something to all audience out there. Starts with you, Dr. Gayatri. One gift.
In my personal opinion, I don't know. I mean, a lot of things are always at stake when we talk about these things. My final suggestion would only be this. When you're devising a strategy, think about what other people want, because it may not be that your understanding and their understanding would be same. People are different. When devising a strategy, prioritize other people, because other people's needs are what we are catering to.
Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Ron? Quick one.
My last piece I want to share is always stay curious wherever you go, and even in your home city, or even the home, let's say home corporation, your current corporation, there's always or cultural thing you can learn, and that will lead to the sales, sales, and with more creativity. Thank you.
Always
Stay curious.
stay curious. Alicia,
Stay
what's
curious.
yours? Stay curious.
Always put yourself in the customer's shoes. That's your most important thing. If you don't do that, you won't give service, you won't give excellence, and you won't give a respectable experience for them. So always be in the customer's shoes first.
Always in the customer sales shoes. Fantastic. Michael.
If you want to make sales, you serve the customer. So serve forward, because if you serve forward, it will come back to you in the option of them buying. Serve them first, they'll buy from you. Remember to serve forward.
To sum it up, ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a big round of applause. The biggest magical solution, be of service. Be of service. That's all for today. Thank you so much for staying with us. The power of sales strategies in a diverse environment. Continue your comment in the chat box, and we love to connect with you in the future. With this, we are sending you a lot of love to our audience, to everybody out there. Thank you, Andrea. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Beautiful panel. Amazing, engaging, humorous. Thank you so much for sharing your very diverse perspectives. We most probably made the audience very hungry. They went to have a dinner because we were talking all about food in the chat. So thank you so much for bringing up that. It's very popular in Malaysia, especially. So thank you so much, guys, for this session, and thank you for the audience who have been tuning in. And if you are watching this later because you are from another time zone, please make sure you are putting your questions into the comments. For the panelists, I put the questions already there. So please, after you finish here, go to the YouTube link and answer those questions so that the audience can get their answers. And thank you so much for being here. I'm wrapping up because I have to jump in another session. So see you very, very soon at the networking session tonight. And have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all.
You're
All
only
the best.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Until time.
Bye-bye.
All the best,
Bye,
Andrea.
Jen.
And
What's
everyone.
Danya? Bye.
안녕히 계세요.
Great meeting, guys.
Oh,
Great meeting.
good.
Yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you so much for
Wow.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all
Bye-bye.
of you.